Hi. Hello. Sorry for the close-up of my nose. It's reaching for something. My little niece made me a little coaster. So I was like, oh, I need my coaster. My iced coffee is being a little wet. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. It's Kim Howerton. I am happy to be joining you on this very sunny day here in California and ready to talk about anything you want to talk about. Earlier today, I did a live stream with Nisha Salisbury and also Alyssa Rogers. And we were talking about the coaching industry, what's going on with coaching. And if you're interested in hearing our thoughts about that, you want to get more plugged into what our thoughts are with coaching in general, then you can head over to Nisha's channel on YouTube and watch that live stream. I'll put it in the description after this stream if you want a link to that. So if you're watching on the replay, then you should be able to find that. If not, if you're watching now, you can go. When you're done watching me, go over there and watch me again. Anyway, but glad to be here with anybody that has a question, wants to talk about whatever you want to talk about, something health related. I've got a haircut scheduled later this week because my hair is driving me nuts. And I hope everyone is doing fabulous tonight. What is happening in the world of Kim? Working on writing things as usual, working on staying plugged into what is going on in the world around coaching, making sure people get the help they need. Hey, Pat, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Hey, Dave, it's good to see you too. Glad to have people joining here in the stream. And I do this every week for about a half an hour these days, depending on what's going on. So happy to be here. Let's see. So this is a book that I've read recently. I talked about it a couple months ago, but I kind of have been into it. I finished it, but you can see I had a lot of notes. So this is a little thing that I use. So this is a little tab set you can get from Post-it, and I just taped it to the front of my book so that I could pull out a little Post-it whenever I want one for it. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Pat. Thanks. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the live with Nisha and Alyssa today. We had a really good time. We like to talk to each other. We are definitely birds of a feather. And so, you know, we talk about the fact that we don't necessarily see everybody having the kind of success that they want to have when they join the coaching world and want to be a coach in the world, and what's even required and what does it involve and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that you know, we wanted to put some stuff out there to help people succeed when they want to be a coach. I think that matters. Nanu, Pat says, I'd love to do coaching with you, but want to wait until my life is in chaos so I can really focus. Not sure that will ever happen. Well, that is true. Life will remain chaos for sure. God, there's I think it's Parkinson's law that like everything will expand to the time you give it. And life is definitely the thing that will expand into all the time that you will give things. So, you know, it's really a good question of like, do the things making your life chaos have an end, like a distinct end date? Like you're in college or getting a graduate degree or something like that, where it's like, this is going to be done in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. There's a time limit on it. You're currently pregnant, right? I'm just thinking of things with like definite time limits, right? And now after that, you'll have children, but you get my point. Like there's there's going to be a transition point. But if it's just like life is generally crazy, I would not expect that to change unless you are the one that makes it different, because life will expand into the parameters that you allow it. So as they say, life is lifing. And what we're doing right now is just some live calls. So there's nothing really to commit to time wise, other than, you know, listening to a live once a week or so. So, you know, in the future, there might be something else, but, you know, that's pretty much what we got. So you don't have to take it all too seriously at this point. All right. What else is going on in the world? It's June, crazily. So it's definitely summertime. Thinking about summertime food, summertime activities. What do people what are people's summers like, right? If you're watching, if you're listening, if you're catching me on the replay, put in the comments, talk to me a little bit about, are there any specific summer-based challenges you have with your health? Is it easier? Is it harder? Is it more or less stressful to be in this time? David asked, was the live conversation on Nisha's channel? Yes, it was on Nisha's YouTube channel, and it's as both a live and a podcast, so you can listen to it or watch it. And it was earlier today, so you should be able to find that at today, June 11th. So yeah, we had a really good time talking about coaching and coaches and what coaches shouldn't know and do and what the challenges are, and we definitely are going to keep that conversation going. It's going to be, I think, a useful experience for all of us. I got my iced coffee. What are people coming tonight drinking? I don't know what you're drinking, if you're drinking anything. It's different time zones. We're right before dinner for some of you, right after dinner for some of you, right during dinner for others. So it's good to be here with you. Thinking about thinking. So what else is up? Yeah. All right. I did a lot of talking today. So I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm like, who was I talking to about what and where and how? And yeah. So, Pat is having a half a keto chow creamy. Wow. Keto chow tonight. John is saying a coffee with a tablespoon of butterscotch keto chow. So definitely a keto chow night. The creamy is an amazing invention. I love my creamy. Very happy that I have that in my life, for sure. For sure, for sure. Sound like a Valley girl. Remember that? For sure, for sure. I am totally dating myself with that one, right? Remember that movie with Nicolas Cage? Oh my God. Was that came out 1982? I was a wee youngin', I will say, but I remember that. Anyway. Oh, maybe I misunderstood Nanu Pat's comment. Are you looking to do the coaching thing that Nisha and I were talking about, helping people with being better coaches? Or were you actually wanting to do one-on coaching, like for your life? And this hair is, I don't know what is happening. There. Because if it's for yourself, that was a misunderstanding. If it's for yourself, that is still something that life will expand into the space you make it. So anyway, I just had a thought, and after that, I guess maybe I misunderstood what she was trying to say. Anyway, I am a big fan of the creamy and a big fan of keto chow, so it all works out great for everybody when they're doing those things. Anyway, wow, I'm a little silly tonight. Okay, so what have I been thinking about recently? Thinking about my local grocery store has stopped stocking my favorite flavor of Zevia, which is very upsetting. So I can still get it on Amazon, and I checked the Zevia website, and they still make it apparently. So it's not been eliminated, but it makes me nervous. Anyway, Pat, I thought at one point I would like to be a coach, but currently need to be coached. Here's the deal. Most coaches have coaches. We are all there are things we can do for other people that we cannot do for ourselves. So just because you feel the need for a coach doesn't necessarily mean you also want to have something very important to offer to other people in the world. So just want to say that out there. But I do agree that for a lot of us, having someone help us work on some of the stuff that we're stuck on, places that we get into our own head, that we get stuck in various ways, I think that can be very helpful. And so if you've been stalled in a way that is unacceptable to you and you're looking to increase some flow in your life around being able to lose some weight that you haven't been able to lose, I think all of that is something that a coach could totally help you with. And also, I would say, not to be a broken record, don't keep putting it off. Life is shorter than we want it to be. Don't keep putting off something that's important to you. Now, if you're like, hey, it's not a priority, it's not important to me, I totally understand. Totally understand that. But then just be honest about that and say, it's not that life isn't, it's not life, it's that it's not a priority. And that's fine. Like, you get to choose your priorities. It's your life. Anyway, David says Keto Unstuck was a good program. Lots of useful information. I appreciate that, David. You're very generous with your praise, and I appreciate you a lot. I think it is a good program. It really does help people get to the nitty-gritty of kind of like addressing the places where they could see some traction with a fresh set of eyes on what's happening in their life and their diet and their, just their weight struggle, and then being able to move forward with those with a little bit of a new perspective. I think that's what we really offer. It's not that like, I'm like, look, I have this magic potion for you. And if you apply this twice, that's the secret you've been missing. No, it's like basic fundamentals, but they work when you go back to them. And I think a lot of us really can overcomplicate things when we're not seeing the success that we want to see. So that is what we focus on in the program for sure. I'm still very into my iced coffee. All right. So let's see what else is up in the world of people. So last week, my oldest niece graduated from high school, which was very exciting. We've got those kinds of things going on in the family. And I myself am feeling really great on my weight loss journey. So that's pretty exciting for me. I go through periods where it's not that exciting for me. And then I'm like, I'm going to take a break. And then my goal is to maintain, and then I get back to it. And so now as the weather is turning warmer again, I don't know, weather is turning warmer. Somehow that gets me in a better mindset. I'm still kind of food focused, but the food I'm focused on can often be very light in fare, which is kind of nice. We're definitely seeing cherry season happening. So I have to pay attention to how many of those I eat. But it's not like bonbons. So and looking at, what makes a good summer for me, it's very much about being active, going for walks, getting out there, enjoying the really nice days, getting some sun on my skin. That makes life a lot better. I am definitely somebody, when a sunny day happens, I love it. My boyfriend, not as much. He likes kind of an overcast day because he does like hard things outside. I don't do hard things. And so when you're doing like hard exercise outside, I like do that at the gym, but like, you don't want it to be too hot. Whereas I'm like, I just lounge outside. I mean, I'll go for a walk, but I'm not doing anything super stressful. So I'm like, oh, the sun is so nice. He's like, too hot. So anyway, not that we're doing those things in the same place, because he's like 10 miles down them. Anyway, but David said, I did go to a family reunion and ate half a pound of fresh strawberries. Yum. Good strawberries are amazing. Nancy said, saw a video today about meat being made in a lab. Have you seen or heard about this? Yeah. Lab grown meat is absolutely a thing. It's not sold as meat. It's much more expensive, honestly. But yeah, they're trying to develop these kinds of things, but it's been kind of a disaster when you actually look at what's going on in the background with it. So I think more than anything, it's just like beyond like the fake meat kind of stuff, looking at like how that is not beneficial for society really. And like, but the people who spearhead these initiatives are like, it's going to change the world. And then the stock price like soars. But then at some point in the near future, within a couple of years, they realize it was a big mistake and everything about it is going poorly. And then then the stock price starts to fall. And I think it's going to be the same. So, but lab grown meat, yeah, that's been a thing for a bit. And it's, the process of growing the lab meat is like very water intensive, very material intensive. Like it's not a cost savings or an environmental savings at this point. So there are a lot of downsides. It's mostly a marketing ploy and like a political social marketing kind of ploy. So, I keep my eye on it, but I also don't see it gaining, like it's gaining more like thought experiment traction. It's not gaining that much actual traction that I'm aware of. And, but I continue to kind of check in on the situation occasionally. But yeah, that is the thing. For dinner, I got some pulled pork at Trader Joe's. And so like already cooked. So I got some of that. And so tonight, and I made some coleslaw earlier today. So I think we're going to do little pulled pork sliders. I won't do a bun, but I'll give Eric a bun with barbecue sauce on that and some coleslaw on the side. So that's my plan for dinner over here. We'll see how that works out. I haven't tried this pulled pork before, but I'm certainly not making pulled pork at this point. It's not going to happen today. So it's nice to have those little fallback options. They have a smoked chicken, or I think they call it a pulled chicken, and a pulled pork, which is sort of like they're both kind of smoky flavored in little sous vide bags. They're pre-cooked. They'll last for a couple weeks in your fridge if you check the expiration date on them because they're pre-cooked. So those are good like backup dinner options for sure to keep on hand. I made like a chicken salad with the chicken one, and now I'm going to try the pork one. So we'll see. I'm more into the chicken usually than the pork, but we'll see how this is. I think it might be yummy. So we'll see. All right. Well, let's see. What else? Oh, David, today I had some really good strawberries too. I went to the little farmer's market store up the road from me, and they had strawberries that I was like, these look really good. So I got some of those, and those were super yum. So yeah, this time of year, you can get berries that are just like so good. David likes to sous vide his beef steak. I do not have a sous vide, but I have had sous vide steak, and it can be really wonderful to do that sous vide for a while and then just do a little grill or saute, not saute, my brain, just a real quick browning in a pan to get a little crust on it. Because I will be honest that like just a sous vide steak tends to look a little bit sad. It for me, it needs that little browning on the outside to really, make it look the way I want it to look. And it brings that flavor out a little bit more. Flame torch. All right. Yeah. It looks a little like it's a sous vide steak that's just sous vide looks like it's going to taste awful. And it won't, it doesn't. It's just, but the visual is missing. So for sure, because it's like essentially a low and slow method of cooking that really does do a lot of good things in terms of denaturing the proteins. Yeah, it's like gray. It's like shoe leather. It looks scary. And it doesn't have that nice brown, like it's just missing the visual appeal for sure. But the texture is really fabulous on a sous vide for the most part. So yeah, you got to get that little bit of finishing action for it to really look the way that I think a steak wants to look in my mind. So yeah, for sure. But I think that sounds awesome, David. I think that sounds awesome for sure. All righty. Okay. Well, it's been really nice checking in with everybody today. Hopefully you'll go and check out the video I did with Nisha and Alyssa. It was a super fun time. If you're somebody who either is possibly interested in being a coach, interested in coaching, any of that, any interest in learning more about coaching, that is a video for you. I know not all of you are that person, so I understand. But if that's something that resonates with you at all, go and check out the video I did with Nisha and Alyssa on Nisha's channel. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.